Hey everybody, Disgruntled Specialist here. So we are level 60. Last night we had some things that didn't allow us to really get as far as we wanted, so took some time, did some work, and came out on top. Even got a dynasty run in, which was pretty cool. It's pretty exciting. Just for the people who have been like watching my videos afterwards through the VOD section, been jumping in the live stream, especially the people who've been kind enough to follow me. I want to go ahead and just give you a quick shout out and say thank you so much for the support. And I really appreciate it. Now that we are at max level content, we will probably be altering the streaming schedule for New World just so that we can really mix up some content. I will be putting out the new schedule most likely tomorrow evening, and we'll be starting it the following week. With that said, just keep that in mind. I still, love having you guys here, but I want to make sure I'm giving you some actual content. As opposed to when we were leveling, it was the same old. We get into the grind, we keep going. So that's changing, and I will still be streaming most of the week. Just wanted to put a heads up there for those of you that have been, consistently watching and supporting me in this endeavor. So with that said, the other thing that I had mentioned doing is when we reach level 60, trying something new. So we're going to be working on crafting anyway. I think we're going to really be trying to focus on the outfitter station. I'm really excited about the outfitter station. I think it's what we really want to do. And now that the spear's at level 20, the bow's at 19, I want to kind of change it up, give some people a different vibe for some different weapon types. And we have some excellent intellect gear that we have received so far from our dungeon runs. Just to start off, I'm probably going to be doing a fire staff rapier build. I do want to eventually get an ice gauntlet, but honestly, the scales off of intellect anyway. It'll give us some a little bit of a mix-up. I want to try doing a bleed build with this so that I can go in there, throw some bleeds in, and still do some fire damage. We might even play around with the Grace Tree with the rapier, which is what I'm used to give us defensive. Not sure yet. I think that's what we're going to be doing today as we set up and plan out our farming route afterwards. Some other things that we got. We have the Reinforced Zealous Embrace of the Scholar, 20 intelligence. It's a 500 gear score. We got some physical damage absorption. We got a cooldown reduction and healing tomb. So as I said, I haven't really played with it. Pretty sure we're going to have to scale that off of, I think that's an Ice Gauntlet skill. But gain 10% health after exiting with full mana, which is pretty cool. We got Tarot's Ritual Trinket, a little bit of Constitution, but still good chunk of intelligence with some Ice Ward on it. Another max cooldown reduction and 8.4 mana regen. We also have a ring, 20 intelligence with a 2% elemental damage absorption, a max cooldown reduction, and our 4.5% more ice damage. This rapier will get replaced if we can find a cost-effective ice gauntlet. It's really what I want to do, but if we can't, this is going to be our backup. We also got this farming the other day. It's not light armor, which is what I would prefer, but it's still good enough. We have 19 intelligence. We have an empty socket, which we'll try to gem that out if we can. And then efficient burnout. Mana regen rate increased by 31% for 8 seconds after using burnout. Really cool. Pretty sure this will synergize really well with the fire staff. Once again, we got another thing we were farming. Constitution, intelligence. We have some damage absorption from Lost and another empty socket. So we will be working on that. It's going to be kind of expensive for the restat, just because I have done a few respecs already. So we're looking at a 500 gold respec cost right off the rip. So we're going to go ahead and do this. We're going to commit. Kind of nervous because it can really impact our damage, but it's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw in some of our intellect stuff now. And that is a cool looking fire staff in my opinion. throw that in there. We are going to go ahead and replace that and that. Yep. And that. We're going to drop these in the bank. We are not going to sell these. These are a nice backup option. And I don't really necessarily want to say goodbye to dexterity builds forever. I just want to try something new. I think it's going to be really helpful. We are going to take our powerful mana potions. I'm going to slip those in here and put those away for now. Yeah, so that's that. We need, it looks like pants and gloves. Those are the only things I didn't acquire over over my time period of farming and doing dungeons. So at least it wasn't good enough to keep. So we're gonna go over here to the trade market and we're gonna see what kind of gloves and pants we can get for our intellect build. As I said, we did spend quite a bit of the gold that I farmed yesterday to do that respec. We are going to be looking for light armor here because we want that damage bonus. And we're already wearing some medium armor, which does give us a little bit of weight. It's not a lot, it just gives us a little bit. We're going to sort by gear score because I do want to see our higher end. Let's see here. This is 300 gold dexterity. Constitution, dexterity, focus. That's not really what we're looking for. Let's see all settlements, what people are selling here. So that's 250 focus. It's not. I'm not seeing a lot of intellect, which is unfortunate. Now our rapier does scale off of that a little off dexterity, but that's not really what we want. We want to end up getting to a point where we are. So that's okay. So I'm not going to get too crazy with that. Those are all pretty expensive items, and we're already way outside of travel distance. We only have 45 A's left because I had to do some traveling yesterday in order to do some different trade quests. So we're going to give up on the gloves for right now. We're going to go to leg armor real quick. Go to light. Nothing. Interesting. Okay. So that's not happening either here. And that may be because most people are selling that kind of stuff in Windsward and other locations. We're going to look at magical weapons then. We're going to look at ice gauntlets. Okay, so we have a few options here. Let's see here. That's not bad. That's you generate more threat, but that is intelligence. It might be a good starting place. This is probably a better bet for 230. What is this? Honestly, let's save the money for now. We'll take the intelligence. That's a nice buff. We're going to give up the rapier. And we will just keep the rapier in storage. I do like the cooldown reduction piece here. I really think that some of these different skills are going to synergize better with a total caster set. And this will be better for later. If we do find that this is not really meeting our needs, we can swap back. And then let's see here. So we couldn't find the gloves, we couldn't find the pants. We have 2 caster weapons now that we can really test. And our rapier's pretty leveled up, so if we do need to swap back, it does give us some variation. And you know what? I think for fun, everyone runs Ice Gauntlet Fire Staff. So I'm actually going to just go ahead and we'll commit to something different. I think that's going to be more fun. We'll keep the gauntlet with us just in case it doesn't really work well, and we only have really one skill that synergizes with it, so I guess it's not the end of the world. And we should have just enough to hit the 300 threshold. So we're gonna have 10% Azoth travel reduction, 30% damage for the first hit of a full health target, 30% damage duration to damage over time spells, increased yield when harvesting, so plus 10 mana after a dodge. Harvest speed is going to be increased by 10%. We have increased elemental damage by 15%, decrease in weight of harvested items by 10%. Let's see here, 10% critical hit damage, and a 5% chance for 1 Azoth when harvesting. And then 10% damage to light and heavy magic attacks, and plus 10% harvest speed, which is good because we're going to be doing some, actually, as I said, we're going to be doing farming, trying to work on outfitting. We can definitely utilize a higher yield on that cloth. So that's pretty good. We have our intellect up to a good amount. We have our ice gauntlet as a backup. Weapon mastery. So let's take a look and see what I have the rapier. I think I was in the Grace Tree previously. We can respec for only 25. And we could go into the bleed build. That would be a full DPS build. And I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna go ahead and try this bleed build idea, so we can cast, and if something gets close range, we can try to do damage. So let's take a look at the blood tree of the rapier family. So one of our first ones is Tondo. Slash so quickly that extends the reach of your blade up to 5 meters. This strike deals 50% direct weapon damage. It also applies a bleed that will deal 85% weapon damage over 12 seconds. This can stack up to 3 times, refreshing previous applications. So this is not bad. What does it turn into? So Thirst for Blood. On applying the first bleed stack on an opponent, the cooldown is reduced by 10%. If you hit only one target, even on a blocked hit, this cooldown is reduced by 25%. And proper spacing. Improve your direct damage from Tondo by 100% if you are 4 meters away from your target or more. So I want to note one thing while we're doing this. While this is fun and this is an entertaining one, the reason that, remember in the intellect tree we did have a 15% bonus to elemental damage. So we are taking a loss on the damage from Ice Gauntlet. But we can always level that later once we have our Fire Staff kind of upgraded. So while we're not doing that, this is kind of nice. This gives us a bit of a spacing. It's going to take some time to practice, but we're going to get some additional damage from a distance with a physical melee weapon, and stacking a bleed, which for so for just out in the world, could be good or bad. For dungeons, I think this might be actually kind of fun to be able to just jump in there. If you ever played Final Fantasy 14 online, it's going to be kind of like the Red Mage, I believe, the one that could split between magic and melee. And that's kind of the inspiration behind this. I actually would like to keep going down this tree a little bit more. Let's see what the other stuff is here. So Flurry. We're going to enter a pose stance and unleash a series of 5 quick thrust attacks with each strike dealing more damage. Flurry can be dodge canceled at any time. It's going to build up into Overwhelm, so each hit of Flurry does 25% more block damage, so that would help us break some blocks. Each hit of Flurry reduces the cooldown of this ability by 7%. Not bad, so it's 5 strikes, so 35% if we hit with everything. Each hit of, I did that right. Each hit of Flurry extends the rapier's bleed by 1 second. This will also apply to future stacked applications of the same bleed, extending the entire stack. That's not bad, especially since we want to be able to put the bleed on and get out. And then finalize. The last hit of Flurry will cause the enemy to stagger. Not bad. Let's look at this, because I believe Flourish and Finish is actually the thing that consumes the bleeds, and I think is going to be essential to being able to use the bleed build. So let's see what we're doing here. So Flourish performs an attack, knocking back enemies. Pressing light attack at the end of Flourish will continue this ability by automatically performing Finish. Finish lunges forward, consuming all rapier bleeds on any target hit, dealing 110% of their damage immediately. So that's pretty strong. It follows up with Flare, gain grit on both Flourish and Finish. Swagger, plus 20 stamina when successfully hitting a target with Finish. Each tick of damage from Tondo's bleed reduces the cooldown of this ability by 3.5%. And then Bloody End. Finish deals 150% of the rapier's bleed damage instead of only 110%. So since we're not really going to be in the business of breaking shields most of the time, we're not trying to actually get into the fray. I think we're going to go with Flourish and Finish, and I think the Tondo and this will pair nicely. So we're going to do that. And I am actually going to pick up, let's see here, what is it? Riposte. So I don't think we're going to do the evade particularly. But this one, if we do end up in a situation where something tries to attack us, we will have a 1.5 second stun if we're struck in the 1 second window this is open. And I think that's what we want to do. I think what we want is one defensive, and then our other ones are going to be our offensive abilities. We're not going to spend too much into this tree, although it doesn't look like, let's see here. Deal 10% more damage when your stamina is below 40%, plus 3 stamina on any hit. So I think we'll do that and that. And then let's see here. I think we want to get grit. We'll want to do that for the cooldown reduction. And then yes, we want a cooldown reduction, and we want the distance improvement. And then we will also just go down this tree. And before we commit, let's take a look here. So any heavy attack on a bleeding enemy will extend the rapier's bleed by 2 seconds. This will also apply to future stacked applications of the same bleed, extending the entire stack. So that, so we're gonna keep it for now, because of the Tondo's bleed reducing the cooldown on this. This is a 18.1 second cooldown. I think that we got one. No, so there's no damage, there's no cooldown reduction for this passively, but this one's going to be quick. We're going to be able to do Tondo, Flourish and Finish, and Tondo again, and then start casting, and while this is all coming off cooldown. So this is a great skill later, but not for right now. Let's see, do 5% more damage to targets with a rapier bleed. We're not really, we're just looking for the extra passive. This might be good later. Increased damage from both middle swipe attacks in the light attack chain. Once again, we're not really focusing on being in the fray that much with the Fire Staff Rapier build. Deal 10% more damage when your target has greater than 50% health. We'll probably be starting our fights with casting, so not too worried about that. Now that is interesting. Reduce all cooldowns by 1% on any hit. We'll probably stick with this. The next time the rapier gets leveled up, we will probably go ahead and take that first, this second. I do want to keep these intact, and I don't want to lose our defensive. So that's going to be our 10 points there. Committed. And then we're going to work on the Fire Staff leveling. And then, let's see here. And I think we have a nice big red staff. Let's go ahead, and I think what we're gonna do. Let's see. We might get a cool cosmetic later. Let me see if we have anything very caster looking here. Been really into the whole like bow and arrow thing. So I think for right now, what we'll do is we'll go swashbuckler. It'll go with our sword. It'll look kind of good. Doing new man, new costume. So let's see here. Excellent. And then I don't think we have any different skins for that. Nope. And I don't think I have any rapier skins at the moment. I do not. All right. So that is going to be our new look for now. So we've got most of our stuff as intellect, and I guess we're working on armoring anyway. It will be a probably a most likely a significant item level drop to craft our own for right now because we're only at I think 122. Yeah, 122 armoring, but we might be able to craft our own intellect gear. So we are up to some silk stuff, so that's for the 400 range. So 150 will be our next range up, which would be closer to like 475, I think. Let's look at our infused silk. Oh no, we can actually make that into the 500 range. Okay, so because we have blister weave. I bet if I go down to infused silk, so I have some of these since tracking that. So at that's 150. Yep, 150. We'll be able to do that. So let's take a look here and see what we need to do since that is what we want to do. And 150 is when we get our new bag. So that's gonna be important as well. So for the silk stuff, yeah, we're just shy on silk. Let's see if I have. I think Cutlass is where I have most of my silks fibers. I might have some here. I know I have my yeah, we have some silk thread here. My wire fiber I'm gonna leave here. We're not there yet, so it's not a big deal. We are gonna take the silk with us. We'll take the linen with us. I don't have enough Azoth to travel at the moment, so we are going to be doing this by foot. But that gives us a chance to get more hemp on the way through. So Cutlass, we have some more mana potions, which will be helpful. We do have our silk weave, cross weave there, which means I probably do. Yep. So satin's there. We have plenty of linen and a bunch of silk thread. So we're definitely going to get some hemp, but we're on our way to Cutlass. So it is going to be a hike, but on our way through, we are going to stop like right there. In this area is a bunch of hemp. So let's make our way to Cutlass. We're going to do it on foot. This will give us a chance to level our fire staff that we got from Dynasty. I don't know how to use it. I guess I just click it. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll just aim and shoot. Excellent. And then, yeah, we're going to see how much we can get this leveled up. And we will pick up as much fiber as possible on the way. So, and that's any fiber, silk, wire, or linen, or hemp for the linen fibers. So we're going to try to make as much cloth as we can. We'll probably do some skinning when we get down to Cutlass so that we have the leather necessary to make the cloth products, and then we will make ourselves a pair of gloves and pants, so that I'm not wearing medium armor right now, because this is actually pretty powerful for nothing on it. I guess we're gonna pick up top tier leather because I can't help myself. All right, so first thing in the fire stuff. So we have pyromancy and fire mage. So let's see here. Pillar of Fire, target spell that deals 134% weapon damage. Can go into 40% more damage at full health and gain 10% of your max mana per an enemy hit by Pillar of Fire. Seems like a good AoE build. Heavy attacks reduce fire staff cooldowns by negative 10% on hit. That's pretty cool. Channel spell that rains down meteors, dealing 34% weapon damage, initial impact, and additional 20% weapon damage per second. Targets remain the AoE. It costs 5 mana per second, 30 total mana at full cast. Okay, and then Fireball. Fire off a heavy fireball that deals 140, I think it's 48%. I have a little screen retinal that's blocking it right now. Damage impact 3 meters, burning field lasts 6 seconds. The burning field dealing 10% weapon damage each second. Let's see what the pyromancy field's all about. So create a jet of flame from the tip of your staff, dealing 34% weapon damage each second. Each hit catches enemies on fire, dealing 3% weapon damage each second for 6 seconds. Cause a fire explosion, doing 130% weapon damage, and pushes back all enemies 3 meters. Catches enemies on fire, doing 3% weapon damage each second. Burnout. Dash through the targets, dealing Okay, dealing 120% when so damage. Passing through target will catch target applying burn, deals 10% each second. This might synergize well because we'll be close with our rapier, but I want to double check. So burnout, that was the skill that we were trying to feed off of, and that is the burnout skill. Okay, so I think we're gonna go down the pyromancer tree. While holding a fire staff and below 50% max health, damage is increased by 20%. I think we're going to start off with the flamethrower skill, and we'll commit our first point into that. And we'll take a look at that next time we fight something. So yeah, it looks like we might be able to kind of rush in there, set everything on fire for 10% weapon damage, flip over to our rapier, throw in some bleeds, and then get back and start doing some maybe AoE things. We may go with meteor shower as our like offshoot for the second tree, but we'll see. We will see. So we're still getting the hang of this. Oops. All right, still getting the hang of it. That's as I said, the roll, not having the roll is kind of rough. But we'll get a hang of it. I also need to rearrange the rapier skills. I put them in the opposite order that I selected them, which is kind of weird. And I kind of want to line it up. So Tondo, Flourish, and then I want the Riposte to be our third skill. So the necklace is in here. I was pretty sure I had an intellect necklace. I need to see what that is. Actually, so this is good. The fact that that was damaged told me that this was one of my new pieces of gear. Hopefully I didn't leave that in Restless Shore, but I might have. That's a ring. No, didn't leave it there. Window. That's a ring. It's also a ring. I really need to consolidate everything at some point. Alright, so I don't know where I left it. Hopefully I didn't destroy it. That could have happened. That sounds like something I would do on accident. Alright. So we're going to keep going. Flamethrower is okay. I mean, obviously we knew it wasn't going to do like a ton of damage. Compared to like some of these do 134% of the weapon damage. I think... Yeah, we'll see. Because I also am interested in... as I'm thinking about it, Incinerate may also be a good mix, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm already turning gears about like some different styles of combat we can do around the rapier. I am impressed by the amount of damage that this fire staff does, even though we don't really have like a lot of skills. So the range, fire damage, base damage, flamethrower has no cooldown. That's kind of nutty. Okay. So for right now, we're gonna do this as our second ability, just in case we get like cramped in like that, especially when we don't have a lot of mobility, since we are just slightly over the weight cap. Wonder, yeah, it's just armor. You know what? We'll stick with this for a little longer. I'm curious to see what is the. I'm getting curious about what this does. So I place ice pylon that fires ice projectiles. Dealing. Yeah. Okay. Is it slow? Okay, so there is some pretty gnarly, and there's our entomb. So yeah, we'll kind of keep with this for a little bit. Although this is leveling the weapons a lot faster than I thought it would. So I want to play with the rapier just a little bit. We're gonna go pick a fight here. I want to see how much damage this does with an intellect build. It says it scales off of intellect. Maybe worth keeping. I think we'll stick with it. Okay. Yeah, I think this will work nicely. We'll keep with this. I don't want to really give up on a custom build like right off the rip, but at some point I have to be realistic. Like, you know, is it real? Like, is it gonna actually work? So I'm the rapier's still iffy for me. Like, it's still on the fence at the moment. Like, this would be a good time to try a flamethrower. Deflected that bullet. Yeah, there's rawhide. So yeah. Still taking a fair amount of damage, but not hopeless yet. Hitting it again will cancel the flamethrower. That's good to know. Does quite a bit of shield stamina damage, which is nice. Each sheet of inserting costs an additional stack of burning. Okay. Restore 20% of inserting's damage dealt as health. Insert hits twice. Alright. When you block a melee attack, restore 5% of your max mana. Okay. Whenever burn deals damage, gain 10% for okay. Burns last 20% longer. I'm just trying to make sure we get some mana regeneration. Although we could go in and get our. So let's see what this is about. I think we'll keep working our way through it. I want to see what this whole dash is about. So our the idea is, oops, wrong weapon. So our idea is here is to dash through, and then okay. Let's try it again. So dash through. Okay, that's too far. Stacking burns. Alright. There's our stun. It's time to run our comparison. Even though we don't have as much in the Ice Gauntlet, we are going to run a comparison real quick to see the variation in how this is going to work. The intellect may just outrank that what we're getting. Yeah, keeping that range I think is the only way this is like that was to me that was a noticeable difference. I think the rapier's fun, but it's just not going to be optimal, which is unfortunate. But I know a lot of people are running Ice Pillar or Ice Pylon, so we'll do that for now. We don't want to spend too much time fighting stuff, I guess. I mean, we do, because it's going to level our I want to make sure if we're going to do this, we're going to level both of them relatively the same speed, I guess. So we're going to have to kill some stuff with. Oh, okay. I'll say that. Now we're going to go Fire Stone because it's got a little more AoE potential. Definitely a different playstyle without roll. So need to be a little more careful. I do like it though. I'll be honest. I like the damage. I like the some of the AoE abilities that we have so far. It's very clear that when you do put that burn on, there is significant damage going out. We're up to 323 intelligence now, which is good. Probably need to avoid that section of area because that is pretty heavy. That's pretty dense. That's we don't really have. I think we're gonna have mana conservation issues if we stay in big combats like that until we get some other skills. At least that's what I've heard. So we'll just change our trajectory just a tad. And we get the ice staff back on, or ice gauntlet back on, so we can start leveling that up since we are tier 4 already with the fire staff. And I think what we do is we're gonna put this down ahead of time, and then we very cool. I think we're just going to town. All right. Increase the damage ice plum by 10% for slowed targets. This is slow them. Increase the speed by 10% and frost. Oh, okay. And then blocking ice will convert mana to stamina on hit. Shower of ice that creates a frost area approximately 1 meter by 5 meters. Enemies that enter the ice shower will be stricken with a powerful frostbite. Frostbite roots for 1 second and blocks sprinting and dodging, slows speed by 50%, and will remain on target for 3 seconds after exiting the ice shower. Ice shower has a lifetime of 4 seconds. Alright. We're going to go for the slow, because I think that's going to be very useful. And then we'll start expanding out. We're going to definitely take the Entomb, since we decided to go with Ice Gauntlet here. There is, not bad. So the Ice Gauntlet seems pretty defensive on its own, so I'm not actually too concerned about giving up the Rapier at this point. It was fun to try, but being able to slow is definitely a good skill set here. We're gonna go around this because I think this is the area that we had before that was kind of packed. I'm doing this for 2 reasons. One, game meat is good for certain recipes, and 2, it gives us a little bit of rawhide. Not anywhere close as much as we're going to need here soon. Oh. Wow, that did half his shield. Alright. Definitely have to watch our mana usage though. That. I think one more level and we will be. Oh. This guy. That was All right. Gonna move ourselves across here. And we did get our ice gauntlet up to 4. We need to do a little more. I think we're gonna increase the damage of the pylon for now. I think that's our move. I'm gonna grab this. Now we're gonna go. I am gonna stop for a lot more of these like epic mats and things because we are now level 60. And we are getting into crafting. Some of those are going to be extremely useful, especially when we get those epic ones. We're looking at tier 5. I mean, those are tier 5 mats that you can get from like the beginning of the game when you find them. But they're going to be more important as we get to these higher level crafting plans, because some of them do require tier 5 mats. And even the ones that don't, and it's a secondary mat that we can use, it's gonna bump up our percentage. I'm also harvesting a lot of these. We're getting like tier 2 mats, but sometimes they have rare and like there's a rare tier 3 or uncommon. Rare is tier 4, and I think they can have an epic tier 5 version of a region that they can drop. So we want to make sure we're getting all of that to help us out. We're gonna go across this land bridge here. Over into Mark's Bluff, so we are leaving the higher level zone. We're not going to get as much experience for kills, so leveling may be a little slower, but honestly the strength of these weapons with the amount of intellect that we do have available to us is pretty staggering. Also want to see, so we are in this. Okay, so too bad. That's pretty cool looking. But yeah, so we're gonna keep moving along here. We want to start moving towards our hemp farming location. We're going to need. Hopefully, there's not a lot of people farming hemp today. We're gonna need a lot to do any kind of crafting. I have the silk fibers to make some difference, but it's really gonna be because we gotta do the fibers go to the linen to satin, and then we'll have to change the satin into silk. So it's going to be somewhat important that we get a high quantity of fibers, because otherwise yes, eventually we're going to be limited by our silk amount, and we'll have to go get that as well. But right now with 1600 silk fibers, our biggest restriction is going to be how much satin can we make to combine with our satin we can get to combine with our silk threads to make silk. Sorry, had like a complete brain fart there. It was horrible. And then, we will have to get the leather as well. We have a little bit, and we can kind of feed it in. I have run Dynasty quite a few times now, so I have quite a few jade collars. I probably should have brought those with me. I didn't think to bring them, but those are the Dynasty, the replicas, the replica armor. Actually gives a pretty good amount of experience. We're not going to really focus on it for the pants and gloves we're going to make ourselves, but bringing a bunch of those mats back with our recall will be important because we can do that. So it's not the end of the world that jade collars are there, but we could have helped ourselves out a little bit. I am going to pick up this iron, and that's because it does take some metals, and I don't like for my own armor. I probably will use the Orc Alchem bars I have, but for crafting, the experience doesn't change. I'm not really planning on using high tier mats, so having some iron bars to throw into the mix while we're leveling for the one, you think it's usually like 1 bar of metal, sometimes 2. It's just gonna work out better if we're not using the expensive stuff. So because we will want to use the expenses, especially if we get to 150 outfitting. We're gonna want to use the high quality stuff to try to push that above 500 item level. So and we probably will also want to farm some Azoth before we craft the 500 item level gear, because we're gonna want to make sure it has a lot of perks on it. See if we can't get ourselves a nice piece of gear. That was weird, running through the rocks there. Yeah, I wish that would go away sometimes. Let's see here. And actually, yeah, we got some tier 1 level 25 portals on our way to that hemp farming spot. So we should be able to get some Azoth, which would be great. We may even throw some Azoth into what we craft here in Cutlass when we get there, just so that we have something that's a little better, because we are going to take an item level hit, so we might as well try to get as much intellect and other stats as we can on that piece of gear. So yeah, and so here's our first little bit of fiber. This is good. Grab this. I did realize I forgot our music. Got so caught up in level 60 changing it out. Let's go ahead and throw in our music. It's always a nice vibe. So we're gonna go ahead and throw that in, and we're gonna keep going here. I think at some point I may try some other builds, but this is probably gonna be, we're probably gonna do intellect for quite some time. Just to really get a feel for it, get it leveled up, and give it a solid chance. I have tried some tank builds, some strength builds. I didn't really like it. I definitely think I prefer a ranged class. So the next time I do try it, it will be purely experimental and just for demonstration purposes and showing it around. So I probably will make sure I get some really good gear saved up for that when that time comes. There is a potential for trying healer as well. I don't really want to do it now. Dungeon groups haven't been as popular recently. I think people just kind of play the dungeons and did them, and then I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to keep running them. Not sure. The servers can, at least this one has been kind of slow. And I have contemplated server change. They have disabled that for right now. They put it out for like a few days, and then shortly after put it on hold. So not sure what's going on with that. They might have had some issues, some technical difficulties with some transfers going wrong, and are trying to make sure that that gets fixed. But I haven't checked the day. I guess I can check and remind this. The last I checked, yeah, it's still disabled. So we're still waiting on that. Not really feeling the stations here. See what this is about. And so we'll hook ourselves to the left here, down this path, and then we'll be almost there. I can already tell though with this build, some of the things that we're gonna have to work on is, while some abilities sound cool, I'm gonna have to play around with it a little bit before it gets expensive to respec weapons trees, because I think we're gonna be actually focusing more on the the bigger, heavier hitting strikes. That is one bonus to the concept I have with the rapier is mana conservation, being able to switch and still have a source of damage without impacting our mana pool too much. We do have a lot of gear that's giving us mana back, so I'm not like super stressed about it, but we need to find a good balance between mana. Oh, that's a workout from back there. Mana conservation as well as damage output, so that when we do spend mana, we're getting the max efficiency out of that cast. So we'll have to take a look into that. Look at that. That is a decent size workout from there. So yeah. It only gave us 31 war, but it looked good. Looks like some people are clearing out some of the portals, so we'll try to see if we can catch these last few ones, and then just come straight down into the to our farming spot. Actually, that might work. Yeah, we can cut around and just loop into the. That gives us more ore for the smaller one. Yeah, we'll see if we can loop our way back down and catch everything. Because those portals are actually in the bigger hemp farming spots. And the fact that they're not being taken out probably means that there's a good chance that no one's farming right now, which is, that's a good sign. Gives us a solid chance. This is a 5-man portal. Nope. Alright, so... Like heading off to this one right here. That's actually someone from my can't actually hear it right now. Let's see, what's up, man? So that's where we're going next. So this should give us some good Azoth. We'll clear out our portals, blocking some of our vantage point for hemp. Oh, someone else already got that. So we're going to actually cut around to the right here. And we're going to see if we can catch the hemp on the backside here, because if they're out there, they're probably going to pick it up. Just, it makes sense to. You're always going to need the fibers, so we'll try to go somewhere there other people are not already, and then that way we can optimize the amount of fiber we're going to get, or at least try to optimize the amount of fiber we're going to get in a single run. So so we can go ahead and clear this out. Oh, we're going to grab that first. Nice. And there we go. So now we have a little bit better vantage point for the fibers we're looking for, which is nice. And we made 60 Azoth not really having to work that hard. But I know that I couldn't have cleared out those enemies that quickly with my bow just because of the draw time and moving around. So this is actually a very strong play style. I definitely like it so far. I'm sure it'll run into its own troubles. But then again, this is without the weapon scale, and we're going to get a lot of other perks from scaling it. But look at all this fiber that's out here. This is great. So this seems like a good time period to come out here and do this now, especially because we're going to need a lot. And so seeing all these nodes out here is a good sign that people are more concerned about doing Azoth farming, which more power to them. I need to go do it. I just would prefer to do it another time, since there's usually always, except for a very small number of times where I've seen there not be a lot of portals out there. You can pretty much do Azoth farming at any point. So we're going to go ahead and do this. So I'm curious to see what this stack of incinerate looks like. I know with my bow, I was able to hit for about 4K. I haven't seen like 4,000 on a hit yet. But you know, my bow is at level 19. I'm already maxed out the tree I'm actually interested in. I'm just getting little like perks on the side. So I am curious to see what this weapon will do when we get it fleshed out inside of its talent trees and really put it to the test. Looks like there's one person farming over here. I'm not gonna. He's going through the effort of fighting it. He looks like a lower level too, so I'm gonna leave that alone. We're just gonna move on to some of the other nodes. What's nice is this area for farming is close to Cutlass, so we are pretty much where we need to be. And this 10% increase in harvesting speed is kind of nice. Not gonna lie. And at some point, we're gonna have to level engineering to make orc outcome tools. I mean, we clearly can do that. We're not as close, I don't think. Engineering is 114. We're actually not that far off. So that may be something else that we will invest some time in working on. Because I think the two real big things we want to develop early on here as we get our max level is our outfitting and our engineering, because those are going to be the bags and the tools, not to mention armor, but primarily the big thing is the bags and the tools. I'm just looking around because I'm trying to see whether or not we're going to have a bunch of people just run up here and start farming this area a lot. We look like we're clear right now. I don't think anyone's interested. Usually if Tres Campos, or aka the pot farm here, is empty, we're probably not going to see too much competition out today. And I mean, if the only other competition is that person who's like actually leveling out here, they're gonna have to fight so many of these lost just to get to it. So we're still gonna end up with a good yield. And eventually we're gonna make a wide circuit around this area a couple times. You know, I got a 1,000-pound capacity, and we're not Azoth traveling, so we're gonna use our recall once we're done with what we're doing. So it's we're definitely gonna try to max out our weight here with fibers, and really see how hard we can push this outfitting level today. And we're already at 1429, which seems like a lot, and it would be if we were crafting linen stuff, but it's actually not that notable yet, because a lot of this is 4-to-1 ratio, so really we're only getting 25% of what we make will be turned into satin, and 25% of that will be turned into, or roughly 25% of that will be turned into silk. That's not true. It's two satin to silk. So if I'm not mistaken, I have to double check. But still, we're gonna need a lot more, because we're gonna get 25% is gonna be turned into linen, and then even if it's a 2-to-1 at that point, where two linen goes into satin, which I don't think it is. I think it's 4-to-1. So yeah, we're gonna see a quarter of it again, and then it's 2-to-1, because then we're adding the silk thread. So we're gonna need a lot of fiber. Basically, an eighth of whatever our fiber is what we're gonna end up with in satin. And basically, whatever our satin is, half of that is going to be what we end up with silk. If the ratios in my head are correct, which I might be off a little bit. We'll double check when we get there. Just saying, I'm having a few brain farts here, so the details are a little foggy in my head right now as far as the numbering. I'm pretty sure it's 4-to-1, 4-to-1, 2-to-1, because you're adding the silk map. But, ideally, we would walk out of here with 8,000 fiber. That would give us. That would result in 1,000 satin and 500 silk. And even then, 500 silk is not. I mean, we can try to optimize it as far as what we're crafting, but it's not gonna be like a lot. I mean, you think about, we probably won't craft a chest piece because of how much it uses, and it doesn't the amount of mats you use per the experience you're getting isn't like optimal, you know, we're not gonna probably do it. But chess pieces are like 22 silk. I mean, you're not gonna be making a high yield of silk robes going that route. So 8,000 just would give us something to work with a little bit. Grabbing those. I'm gonna head down to my other spot here, and then we'll make a long route the opposite direction, because that way when the route ends we'll be closer to Cutlass, because we were already close to Cutlass, so we're going to go counterclockwise and back to Cutlass. We should have time for that. So we're at 1652 now. I'll have to repair our sickle here in a second. Actually going to make our way down this way. So we may do the leather at a separate time, but we will do our cloth refinement, because I think we just have to do so much farming for cloth right now. It's probably going to take up the whole session just crossing that far. So basically we're going to go down to kind of where Buccaneer Creek is. Actually, we'll start down here. And then we're going to work our way down here, up. We're going to cut through, kind of check out this area, and then we're going to work our way up through all this area. There's quite a bit of hemp in that area, so we're, given how much we got all the way through our first round right there, we're doing okay. I don't know if we'll hit 8,000 in this time period, but we probably will resign the evening at Cutlass so that we can get to our farming route a little faster, and build up our linen or satin stockpile relatively quickly. So we don't really want to rush off back to Evansville, because then we're gonna have to run all the way back. And while it was cool to practice our weapon leveling a little bit on the way through, as far as optimizing our time farming, we want to be closer to these, and Cutlass is going to be our nice in-between, because we have to the south in Cutlass our leather farming, and then just north of that our hemp farming. So we're going to kind of optimize that for a while, build up our lower level mats, and then once we have our lower level mats kind of built up, we can start really looking at. Now I am going to stop for Orichalcum, because that is a special case. We're going to need this in quantity as we level up, and since it is it's our highest grade metal that we can see, I don't want to miss an opportunity to get some free Orichalcum here. That's actually, it's funny enough, these smaller nodes are actually giving away more. The bigger nodes seem to give away not as much ore. At least from what I've told. That big one I mined gave me 31. These smaller ones being like consistently giving like 51, 52. I don't know if it's just random, or and it just happens to be that case for these, but we'll see here. Yeah, 55 there. So I don't know. I think it's interesting to note as we're checking things out. Sorry, there's a gnat in here. Just can't seem to go mind his own business. Anyway, so we're back to the hemp here. We're gonna get all this farmed up. It looks like over there it's still there. I mean, by the time we get there might be competition, but we're actually gonna go ahead and get this A's off real quick because I think it'll be worth it. And honestly, clearing these out has been pretty quick. Oh, that's level 45. All right. Not that that's like way above our level or anything. Just gonna be a little not quite planned out as well as I thought. Kind of rushed in there headlong, thinking it would be all right, but yeah, I don't think we're ready for that yet with our fire staff build. I thought that was level 25. I was like, yeah, we'll run in there and just do this real quick. As I'm out of health potions and I do have very limited food, so I'm not really trying to do that solo right now. That's what I get for thinking I was going to get a free meal. Some more down here. Doesn't look like anyone's doing this farming route over here, which is good. It's good for us. It's actually one of the first farming routes I ever did in New World, just because I found all this hemp here one day and no one was really on the server at the time. I was like, wow, this is the place. So I used to go through here. I think I got about, I don't know, I would farm around here for like an hour or so and then get like 1,200 to 1,500 hemp. Obviously, including that big field that we just came from in the route is really nice. You get a lot of fibers from that, but for now, this is going to help us out a lot. Yeah, no one's grabbing any of this right now. And that's kind of one of the nice things about the game being out for a while. Not a lot of low levels are out here. Whereas, you know, everyone and their mom was out here when the server opened up. Because everyone was new characters. So, you know, trying to get fiber here was a battle unto itself. But now no one really wants to walk out here and hit these, because if they are gone, they feel like they wasted time. I like to check on these every once in a while because of that. You know, and there's a way to make it efficient. So like, I haven't marked it yet, but like we're here. The next spot we want to check is right here. That's another starting zone location with some hemp nodes. And then we're going to basically go directly underneath the fort out here and then come back around where that corrupted portal is. And probably will hit quite a bit. I mean, we're at 2,400 fiber right now, which is great. We are over a quarter of the way where I want to be at a minimum. Obviously, anything over 8,000 fibers is excellent. Not to mention, we may get some extra yield. Just because of I think the loom is a pretty high level at Cutlass, and our weaving skill is pretty good right now. Let's see, 149. So we'll get a pretty good bonus on these lower mats for producing bonus. I probably will use the higher grade refining material for it. Or at least as much as I can, to try and bolster our numbers for this stuff, since silk fiber is more prominent out in the areas that we find ourselves in, as well as wire fiber. But specifically, the higher material, we're going to see a lot more of the higher level nodes where we're leveling and where we're going in content-wise. So it would make sense. We're going to grab this dragon corner out here, because we might get a good mat from it. But yeah, so we want to keep our, if we can boost our stats of our lower materials, we don't have to keep coming down these lower level zones, which is helpful for us. So we're going to use our better refining mats for the for the lower level stuff. And then, I mean, I wouldn't use my tier 5. Like the stuff that I have at Evan scale now, like I wouldn't touch that for lower level stuff. But I might even use the grade 5 for silk if I have enough to try to once again push that bonus up on mass producing silk. And you know, that's kind of the last big tier. Then we're just using wire fiber itself. There's nothing wire fiber or infused silk is going to be turned into, at least not yet. So for right now, you know, saving our tier 5 to convert silk cloth into infused silk is not really necessary, because we'll get plenty of wire fiber. What we want is a high abundance of silk cloth, so that one, we can craft more stuff and get our outfitting station up, and two, you know, the raw material is pretty easy to gather. It's leveling it up the smaller stuff that gets expensive, because it's not like you're gonna craft a refining mat. You're gonna have to go farm that from a random chest in you know, one of the enemy zones. So it's just better to use it for getting mass producing the lower level tier stuff. Like my initial thought was, oh, I want to save like these high refining mats for the big stuff, so I can just make more of the big stuff. But I'm realizing it gives you a higher percentage on the lower stuff, so it just makes more sense to get the higher yield of the lower stuff and just farm the higher material mats, which isn't that bad. I did run into a situation where my crafting was my gathering was so much higher than my crafting that I was getting all this other stuff, you know, all this other higher level mats, and it just never dawned on me that, hey, why don't I just use the refining ingredients to just make a bunch of the lower level stuff, so I can refine all these massive amounts of mats that are taking up all this weight. And that's kind of when I started using those refining mats for that. I did make an exception during leveling, because I was running short on mats, and I wanted to try to use some of the refining ingredients to bolster the crafting up, so I could turn in the town project quest. But it isn't the most efficient way to use those high level refining materials. So this is our second zone. We're out by the fort. We caught some of them here, so now we're out here. We're gonna jump up this node and then work our way around. And that's, I think, gonna be our best route. Yeah. And then, so we're at 3,051. We're still getting there. And a lot of shade cloth, which is cool. I don't really think we'll need to use shade cloth now, but it's cool we're getting it. I might keep a hold of it just in case. Okay, so he's already hitting that node. We're gonna move on. He might have been going clockwise, but let's see. I think he's overweight. Yeah, he is. He was not able to run there, so he's probably clearing his bags out and gonna get out of here. So we're at 3,200 now. Oh, look, we got some wire fiber out here. Forgot that there's a few nodes of that out here. We're gonna pick that up as well. And then we'll move on to the next one. There's another wire fiber out there. I'm not too worried about that right now, just because, as I said, we're gonna have plenty of the higher ones. If we run across wire fiber, I'll pick it up, but I'm not going to go out of my way for the higher tier mats because that's not what we're going to have a hard time finding. It's these lower level ones that we're going to have a hard time finding because we're in a higher level zone now. So, yeah, a lot of Dryad Vine too. So we're at 32.92 now. We're still getting there. This is about to respawn actually. And there's some more silk there which we'll pick up because that's along the way. And that's not bad for us to get as well, because ultimately silk is what we're making, so the more fibers we have, the better. So we'll undo this and then kick back a little bit to those other nodes. Two nodes. Cool. Alright, so now we are back onto our grabbing hand thing. Up by this one. No, it's kind of a zigzag path here. It's kind of weird, but it's still a relatively straight line. Yeah, 30, 35, almost 36. So we're getting there. We're almost at our halfway of what we really wanted as a minimum, but still seems like we're getting most of the nodes out here, so we may still hit our number that we're hoping to hit. We will see though. There's like one more node right here at spawn. Didn't realize we could see it from where we're standing, so. Oh yeah, there might be another one down here. I think that's one. This is actually a little further north than where I'm thinking. So we'll take a look. There is one, it's not here, so maybe it harvested already. And then we're gonna just cross over and take a look and see if there's at least one set of nodes that are still over here. So these may have respawned. I don't know if people are over here still farming this side. I guess we're gonna find out. Quite. We're almost at 4K. Right on the brink. But not bad. We've actually been farming for only like 31 minutes, 30 minutes, for dedicated to actually farming hemp, and we're about to cross over the 4,000 mark. That's pretty great. That would be 8,000 an hour at this rate. Oh, look, there's some more wire fiber over there too. So we came across them, just kind of picking up the counterclockwise circle. I didn't want to miss some of the smaller nodes that were respawning. We're gonna pick up this wire fiber, and then we'll get right back to the hemp again. Looks like these nodes are not touched again. It looks like people were just clearing them as they were running through because those are respawning right now. So it's kind of, we're just gonna kind of run a little zigzag here to get all those. This must be a big wire fiber. It's taking a while. Yeah, 71. That's not bad. I don't know if you have done a lot of farming here and you've noticed the bigger ones that, like, if you're actually to get more, it seems like it goes a little slower on the spindle, which is kind of cool. It's kind of nice to know, like, hey, it's not, it actually scales. Like, you're not gonna, if you're gonna waste more time, you're gonna get more mats. It's just kind of nice. Yeah, there's a lot out here that hasn't been touched. I think what we're going to do is we're going to cut back around and just kind of make our way around this island, and then we'll cross over to the other side. Because we want to... Oh, he's already over there, so we'll go here. So this will bring us over 4,200. Keep moving. Right. And then I think these two last little nodes will bump us over 43. Yep, 4305. So we're still, there's a small node up there we'll grab. Assuming that person's working on their skinning. Alright, we do have some other people out here farming some hemp. We're going to grab this up here. This might get us over 4,600 here. Which would be great. Not quite. I read that number wrong last one. These. My goal is to come back this way and then cut back around so that we're closer to Cutlass by the end of the next plateau of nodes. Just part of that planning process. 4641. I'm not sure if there's that Christian was actually running for the hemp or what's going on there. Maybe, I don't know. He's not here now. Oh, he's just clearing. Just clearing the corruptions. Yeah, so we're just gonna. So 4750, we're getting there. I don't think we're gonna hit 8K quite in the time frame we have here, but we're still gonna make off pretty well. We'll focus on like Soulspire and Arcana farming stuff later. I do want to work on Arcana at some point, but today is not the day designated for such things. So we're gonna keep looking for more hemp. And we'll probably going to just follow this straight into Tres Campos. Oh, someone AFK on a hemp node. We'll cross over here. What was this? It's level 25. We can clear that out real quick. See, this time I checked before you start running and being all crazy. Burn it with fire. Alright. Ow. Alright. Excellent. So we cleared that out. There's one we missed any hemp. It's probably a 5-man. Nope, it's not a 5-man, that's just another one. We'll grab some Azoth. Yeah, we got time to grab some Azoth. He's explosive, so we'll have to watch out for that. Alright. We'll see. Stack some burn up on this guy. Throw an ice pillar. Alright, hit him. Alright. Alright, let's see what else we gotta throw at us here. Oh. Destroy my pillar. Man, okay. Alright. I think that's gonna be it. enough. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna keep going. Oh, there we go. So we're gonna end up here, Trace Campos again, but we're gonna grab this node. Just come back there too. And we're gonna run over here and grab these nodes, and then we'll go to Trace Campos, and then we will probably head up to Cutlass K after that, and see how much we can make here. We're just a little bit over halfway of the bags. We're sitting at 48.92 right now for fibers, 49.19. Okay, so after this other big node, we probably will be at the 5K mark, which will be pretty awesome. So we just crossed over the 5,000 mark with fibers. We're still under an hour, and we've even been doing some corruption portals just for the Azoth. We're at 292 Azoth, which is great because I think we started at like 15. Because I respect the rapier. So between harvesting and those corruption portals, we've almost made 300 Azoth. And over 5,000 fiber in under an hour. This is a strong farming route. Especially, I mean, the Azoth, I get it, that's situational. It depends whether the portals happen to be along the way, but if you're doing this farming, well, you got some corruption events going on around you, you're going to be all well off. It's been a long time since I did this, but when I used to do this on a regular basis, like around level 20, level 30, when I was focusing on farming and crafting, which is how I made most of my levels, I never had Azoth issues. That's why I got a little bit spend happy with traveling, and then really tried to focus on quest lines and looking at different sources of experience, and it was unbelievable to see how low I've been on Azoth since until I got back doing this. So that's cool. We got another level on the fire staff, even these low level creatures. We'll pick up this, probably just a potion. Yeah. Someone definitely came through here and picked up some because these nodes are respawning, but they've been gone long enough that these are respawning, so that's good. A lot of people are doing portal zergs right now, which is good. And that's something we'll probably do here eventually. We'll probably try to get into some a few nights doing portal zergs with but higher level, like actually going with a group and doing like 62, 65 portals or whatever. I think it's 65 portals. I think those are the highest level. Should be a fun challenge, good gear. Not sure if the max tier corruption events actually give more Azoth. So far it's been pretty consistent with 20 for small events, 40 for portals, like 5-man portals. But I'll probably take a look at that here soon. I want to level up the fire staff and ice gauntlet with it, so we're not a third wheel on this stuff, but we are at 57.24 right now. 57.67, so this little node should get us well over 5,800. Yep, 58.21. 58.42. Can we make 5,900? Not in those nodes. Okay. That will do it. So we'll grab, yeah, that's alright. He's gonna get the big one. Oh, he assumed I went for the big one. We're having some screen glitch, so I missed that. Not sure what's going on with that. Server shouldn't be having issues. It's not even a busy night. Right, but it is. Alright. Can't figure out where my character is. Where to stop him. But hopefully eventually I'll work. Alright. Alright, 5960. And a quick run back. Guess it's about that time. It's a little unfortunate to see some of that screen jitter here. Alright, so we just broke the 6K mark. We're still under an hour, and that was with corruptions, and I see some more hemp over there across the river. We probably will run over there and see if we can't get that. I'm just going to beeline it for that. And I guess we're just going to loop one more time right before we go to Cutlass. I really am trying to hit that 8K mark before we turn in to Cutlass. I don't think we're going to hit 8K. I think we got pretty close. Just not going to happen this evening. If we'd started out here, or I had the Azoth originally to travel out here, oh look at that, we got harvested 50,000 items. Good for us. Oh. And apparently I've gotten 50 tails, so we're a little close. Anyway, yeah, so that's why we're gonna definitely leave the character in Cutlass for picking up our farming routes. Most likely tomorrow it will be leather, just because it makes sense to, if we get enough cloth going. We still need a lot of leather to make this happen. But yeah, this farming route, I mean, if we look at the time, how much time we spent running the route this way, you're looking at about 8,000 an hour, or 7,000 an hour at a minimum, which is a pretty excellent run at this. So we're just going to run back up around and then U-turn, just to clarify, because it looks like I am running back. We're not going to go all the way back through that route. I don't have time for that tonight. But we are going to try to optimize as much of this as possible. We are at 6364. Okay, cool. 6460. Man, we're gonna be so close. It's just, I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't even know if we're gonna hit 7K. We're gonna be close, but just I don't think it's. See no more nodes in this circle yet. We'll pop back over Trace Camp and see if we can get one more sweep through there, and then that'll be our last ditch effort. Get as much as we can this day. Some nodes respawned. Some nodes on the horizon. This looks like it's respawning now. You know what? We got time. We're gonna run back, grab these nodes, and then come back through. So it looks like it's respawning. So we should have time to do that. That's another thing right there, Seeping Stone. That's another thing we're going to be focusing on a lot when we get to Arcana. $6,600. Three shy of 67. Like 68 here. Yep. Yep, there it is. So 2 smaller nodes respawn. This took a little longer. There should be one really big node there that's going to respawn. I'm not going to wait for that. 68.77. We're pretty close to 69 here. This will definitely get us to 69, maybe even our 7K mark. 69.17. 69.53. Maybe the next. We might need another big node to really. Let's go close. 69.87. So still one more small node away from getting to the 7K mark, which is good. Oh, that will do. That will do. An abundance. All right, that's 7K in under an hour. Just shy of an hour. We'll see how much we actually get at the hour mark, and then I did burn through half the durability of my sight since I repaired it, which is wild. Still a star metal sight, so it's not a low durability item. Alright, let's twist at 73. Almost 74. There we go, 7,400. And this will break 75. $75.53, $75.66 is where we're at now, and this is where we're gonna have to start turning down to Cutlass K here. For sure, there's really no more stretching out the run, but there's a couple of nodes we can get on the way through here. So we won't be going back on the U-turn. We did make a pretty good U-turn, good amount of time. I guess that person's not interested in the half, but missed it. Alright, 76.94. And this is really outside of the farming route. I'm just kind of looking around to see if there's other nodes that I haven't really tracked over here that we can grab on the way back to Cutlass. Actually, there's one right over there. Let's see if someone harvests it before we get over there, but if not, that'll be another good bundle, it looks like, of hemp. Still probably would not include this on my route. That looks like work alchem too. We'll make route that. This is not something I would put into my normal route because you have to cross water to get to it, and that slows you down. But for our purposes, trying to get over here, get our last little bit before we do our refining process at the end here, it's definitely worth it. 77, 78. Oh, we might make it K. We got 3 minutes left in the hour. We got another. Oh man, that's orc alchem and some hemp. That's even better. Also, I didn't know, we also did pick up some orc alchem and did some portal farming. So without those, we definitely would be within the 8K an hour range, which is pretty awesome. All right. 78.54. Oh, 78.79. 79.13. We're getting there, boys. 79.40. We're 53 away. And we have 2 minutes left in the hour. Just for bragging rights, we're going to throw some more orc alchem in on the run. Let's see. I think there might be a little note here on the way up to the door. We'll see if we can get some more hemp. There's one. I knew there was something in here. Almost there. Oh boy, 60 seconds. Let's see here. There's some more there. Alright, we're gonna commit to this one. Let's see if we can make the claim of 8K an hour. Two more. There you go, 8K an hour. We just did it. So that route is 8,000 an hour. Even with some side nodes. All right, we're gonna go ahead and turn it in. That's pretty awesome. I actually did not think we were gonna. I haven't, as I said, I haven't actually done a timed run of that. So the fact that that is 8K an hour is pretty awesome. And you know, it's a testament to, you know, getting outfitting leveled up isn't that bad. I picked cloth because it's not a horrible run. It's pretty quick. So before we jump off the stream, though, we're gonna definitely refine and see how much we actually end up with. We'll try to refine it as much as possible, and tomorrow we may start off with crafting some things that we can, because I do have some layered leather. For right now, we'll just do the refinement portion of this and make sure we grab anything important. I'll bring that back. So loom should be... Oh my goodness, it's been so long. I think it's over here. Yeah, it's over here. It's behind the kitchen. Alrighty, so we can make 2017 linen base with a 15% chance to craft additional. So let's go ahead and see what we end up with actually. Alright, 2273. We are now masters of the loom. Cool. It's better being a fruit of the loom. Then we got our silk weave. Oh my. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and use this. We have a 63% chance to craft additional items. That's pretty awesome. We got 881 there. Yeah, I don't even think we... Yeah, we... Oh, we're good. We're good. Yeah, we go. So... I don't think we have... Yeah, we don't have anything to convert with. then we're gonna use up all 147 of those. We end up with 1050 satin. That's pretty awesome. Very cool. So that is all of our cross weave. We have nothing left. We can now do wire weave and infuse silk. That's pretty good because of the 150 to match the loom. We're going to snag. I'll leave the gems here. Later, that. Brilliant. Upgrade. That's not. It's got horrible stats on it. We'll leave this weapon here because I don't think we're going to use that anytime soon. I think Ice Gauntlet is a safe bet. We'll leave the meat here because this is where I do my cooking. We are crafting ourselves some things later, so gotta remember which one of these is strength. I haven't looked at this in forever. I think it's focus. Man, let's focus. Man. That's increases our ice damage. That's kind of cool. Arcane damage. Oh, there you go. Land arcane. Yep. Take that with us. Take that with us. Leave our arcana stuff here. We're not working on arcana right now. Honestly, probably only the shit. Well, we'll take it with us. We're not gonna use it. We'll take our silk with us. Take that one lane with us. The Fey Iron I'm gonna leave. The iron we'll take with us. What other refining components we have here? Leather. I'm gonna see what much leather we can craft here, and then take that with us. Oh my! They must have lost a lot of wars. We're not gonna worry about that right now. Since we do have the Azoth to travel back, I probably will take some of this back since that's so far, that's been demoted so far. We'll do that later. We'll work on that another time. Right now, we're gonna leave it at this. We'll see if we can end off our stream. We did go over a little over time. That's no big deal. We're gonna see if we can make gloves and pants. That's the two things we're gonna see if we have the mats to make while we're here. So the best we can make. Oh, because we don't have all the other stuff. That's what we're gonna take it back for. So we're gonna take this back. We're gonna take the silk satin back. And we'll hearth back here later. That's why I wanted to take that with me. Because I have our Orc Alchem and our higher level leather back at Epic Scale Reach. So we will, luckily the days off farming paid off. We'll see if we can make ourselves some nice intellect gear. Get as high night level as we can out of it. And that's where we'll end tonight. So let's go ahead and do some crafting and see what we get. So we have a full intellect set. Let's just see if we can get a little cheeky here and make more silk. We have some wire weave. Oh, what a shame. That is a tier 3. Alright, well I'll have to rearrange some stuff as far as weight goes. This is already to capacity right here. So we'll have to craft tomorrow. That's okay. Still, made off pretty good. Definitely did okay today. So I will catch everyone tomorrow. and we will get into this a little further. We may work on crafting a little more, obviously most of today's gathering, but that's just because that's what it ended up being for today. So with that said, just wanted to go ahead and say thank you again for joining me on the streams, the continued support through the follows. I really appreciate it. And then we'll do some we're gonna definitely put some polls here and see if get some feedback on what you guys want to see more often in game content. Try to put that up, and then I should have the new schedule out tomorrow for the streaming schedule. So I hope to see you all then, and